Look, Kevin, every show has a researcher. You're that guy.
I'm just on X. That's it. That's all my research is. I hate that I don't have a mouse for my other computer.
No, I'm just saying, I am not the research guy. You're the one who knows all these stupid random stuff.
What?
You're the guy who knows stuff. I'm the guy who talks about stuff that I don't know about.
You
We
do it
both
well,
have our
though.
roles.
You do it well.
The trick to talking out of your ass is be confident while you're doing it. Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
That's right, America. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
And this is the Lost Art of Common Sense. And we are brought to you by our merch shop. Right here, Cool Ass Alien, a little pancake class going on Josh's shirt or whatever.
Pancake class graduate. Well fed and red, baby.
Maybe I should have went pancake class. I could have, explained the shirt a little better than what I did. But I didn't, so that's why I'm an idiot. So buy our shit, because, it's cool and you want to be cool to, make your friends, jealous and shit. But then have them buy our shit. And it's going to be a circle and everybody in the world is just going to be buying our shit. And it's all because you bought it. So you need to start doing that. Whoever's listening to me, buy our shit. All right. Josh, you got anything else to add to that?
No, I think we can roll right into it. Just be sure to check out the merch link in the description below.
That's right. Do that. Oh, yeah. Also, like, subscribe, share our podcast or whatever you call it when it's on. Is it still a podcast when it's on video? Okay, still a podcast. All right. So, yes, share our podcast, like, subscribe, and all that crap. Comment. I think you should comment on this episode because this episode is interesting. And I really want to know some things from our audience. We'll get into it, but you'll know. Well, I'll ask you about it when we get to there. This week we are talking about the brain. Just in general. I mean, I think the brain is a very fascinating subject. I think it is a mystery that's inside everybody. Yeah, that's it. All right, Josh, let's get to it. The human brain is the only organ to name itself. It's always a fun fact. I like that fact. I mean, it's just funny. Why brain? Why not?
Interesting.
Why not Bill? Why can't we have a Bill? I mean, I'm just saying. They're like, oh, brain. All right. But how much do you think we actually know about the brain and how it works and what consciousness is? I mean, I don't know if we know that much about it.
Yeah, I mean, we know a decent amount as far as like right brain, left brain, stuff like that. Abdullah oblongata. But they still discover stuff like all the time about just how the brain works, like if you have like a spinal cord injury, now this isn't for everybody, but like there's been instances where the brain will find a workaround. So like say the nerve to your right leg gets fucked up or something and you can't move your right leg and you keep working at it, your brain will actually create, I don't know if it finds a different pathway to get the information to it or if it creates one, but it's just weird how it works. I mean, the brain's nothing more than a the hell's that called? A CPU in a computer. I mean, that's all it is. A very technically advanced. I mean, I think even to this day, you wouldn't know it by talking to pretty much anyone on the planet. But as of right now, to this day, I don't think that there is a computer on the planet that is more advanced than the human brain, which seems really weird because computers are smart.
They are smart, but they have to be programmed.
Well, that's true, and they're also not. It'd be interesting to find out, and I'm sure you could Google it, like what the average RAM capacity is of the brain.
I'm sure you could Google it,
and I bet it's pretty high because you got to think about it. It's controlling your heart rate, your breathing. If you're sick or whatever, it's activating, whatever. I mean, because I think the brain has to do something send white blood cells or red blood cells to where they're going. I mean, but it's doing all these tasks simultaneously while you're also consciously thinking, talking, going throughout your day.
Yeah,
So
I'm actually looking it up.
I would, because I mean, I would think someone's got to half-ass, quantify it to figure out
2.5 petabytes.
of RAM.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You really think we'd be smarter?
So that's 1,024 terabytes or a million gigabytes.
That's a lot of RAM.
Yeah.
Why are we so dumb?
Yeah, because we can't use it. We just use part of it. Well, I mean, we actually use all our brain, but we just don't use it correctly.
Well, they say that your synapses in your brain, like your, I guess, were they neurons in your brain or whatever? They're not all connected. So like if you're working on something about something that's activating like this part of your brain or that part of your brain or whatever, but that's what some people are saying when people take that ayahuasca or uh, like these soldiers that go to South America to take these
Yeah. Yeah,
hallucinogenics.
ayahuasca.
Yeah, it basically what that does is it connects supposedly. I think this is what they say it does, but the theory is it makes all your neurons connect and fire together. Now, why it automatically takes people, because when you're there for trauma, and I think what's the dude's name? Peterson, Dr. Peterson.
Oh,
What's his first name?
I know what you're talking about. He's a Canadian.
Canadian.
I want
He
to say Robert,
asked,
but I don't think that's right.
or a guy was asking him because he was on the Sean Ryan show, and Sean Ryan was asking him why it always takes you back to your childhood. Like a lot of people that deal with PTSD have something that happened in their childhood, and he never really answered the question because he's very careful in what he says. That's why he'll like
Jordan
someone will
Peterson.
ask him a question and he stares off into space. It's because he's trying to think of the right words to say.
Yeah.
Like he's very technical in how he speaks. But the only thing I can think of is like, and this is just my thought thinking about it when I watched it, is your brain gets basically all the connections are made, they're all functioning together, and it follows that trail back to where basically what they're saying is the PTSD you're suffering now that you think you got from like war or something, it's all a cascade effect from back here. So that it would make me think that your brain knows that, and if it's running you through your trauma, it's going to take you back to where it all started. Because like what they're saying is if you don't find the initial domino that fell or whatever, you're never really going to get over it. You learn to live with it and process it, but you won't get over it. So that's what's kind of weird about that stuff. But you could say maybe that's why time moves so slow and how you're able to vividly access all your memories is because you're basically accessing 100% of your brain's like I guess RAM or memory or whatever at that point. Graphics cards just burning up, baby, burning
Oh
up.
yeah.
That's why you get so sweaty. You need a cooling pad.
That's right. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's weird because people will get shot in the head or have something like a rod go through their head and it'll destroy part of their brain, but another part will make up for it somewhere. I mean, obviously it doesn't happen to a lot of people, but I saw like
Yeah, most people get shot in the head die.
I think like what was it? I think it was like again William Shatner's Unexplained thing, that show. A dude like in a rail worker or whatever, building the railroad, like like an explosive went off and a rod shot all the way through his head and piece of his brain was stuck to the end of the rod, piece of his skull, and they're dragging him out and he's like, "What? What's going on?" He goes, like he didn't even know it. Like he's just talking and everything. He like it should have killed him, but he's just like talking like normal and he lived his life. I mean, obviously he looked weird because I mean, he had a hole in his head.
Well, did you hear about that kid that killed his family and they found the dad dead at the dining room at the kitchen table? The kid had shot his parents in their sleep and shot him in the head. Well, it didn't kill him, and he got up, like got ready for work, everything. Like, I guess he was like stuck in his routine in the morning. Did everything, made coffee, sat down to eat breakfast, and that's when he died. But
What?
like up until that point, He just ran, and this is a true story. This is actually like on ID. He ran through his entire morning routine and then died at the kitchen table.
That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't know how the brain works. That's weird. That it just like reverted back to his normal, like his routine. Like it was.
Yeah, because you think the trauma, like I don't know. It's like maybe it's a comforting thing, or I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe just blacked that part out, like him getting shot. So just blacked it out.
Well, it seems like the brain does do stuff to protect you. Like, if you reach your pain threshold and you black out. I mean, I've had injuries where, when I got my finger caught in the flywheel of a lawnmower and like peeled the skin back of my finger, it didn't seem like it hurt all that bad. But once I started dressing it and cleaning it out, it just, again, I mean, I have a pretty high threshold for pain, but I started getting the old tunnel vision. I'm going down.
Yeah. I think it's because,
I think it's back in the day for getting eaten by a lion, so you weren't alive for the whole thing.
Yeah, that or it's just like once you stop vigil, like actually, you can see it. Like you're like, holy shit, this should fucking hurt, And when you're like dressing, you're like, all of a sudden you can't see it anymore. Maybe your mind's like, oh, that's fine. I'll put the pain on, so you're injured and you should go to somewhere to help.
I mean, possibly. I mean, it's like that one time at that one job we were doing when I was tearing down and I was cutting plastic and I lopped the tip of my thumb off. And I just went over to the first aid kit and cut the rest of the skin off. I mean,
sometimes
that didn't bother me as bad. Of course, that was a nice clean blade, fresh blade.
Sometimes like it'll just cut through the nerve, so it goes deeper in the nerve. So you pretty much just sever the nerve endings. Like I cut my thumb on a razor blade at work, and it went all the way through, and I can't feel the tip of my thumb still. Tom. Like,
I think that's the way this one is, but I don't know. I just don't like if I have skin hanging off, I always cut it off because it's going to heal painfully. There's but it grew back, and it even has the thumbprint on it. It's weird.
Yeah,
you think it'll grow back all smooth?
Yeah, mine has a cut through it though. Mine's definitely.
It's because you're damaged. It's funny in this camera angle. It looks like you have a stump. You have weird thumbs. Oh, that is weird. That's very unsettling. Normal thumb, weird thumb.
Sorry, everybody. I'm getting over a chest cold. What are you talking about?
Oh, man. It just looks... Maybe it's because it's not as clear on this side. It just looks weird.
Maybe it's because it's the light,
Nope, even that way. You have weird-looking thumbs.
That's a normal looking. That's a good looking thumb.
I'm gonna get a screenshot of that. I'm gonna make that a shirt. Call it Weird Thumb McGee.
See, I could be the guy from Fallout. Some guy. No one would go.
The movie Fall Guy was good. You should go see that.
I seen Fall Guy. No, Fall Guy. No, I was thinking the one with Ryan Reynolds, new guy or game guy or whatever it was.
What?
Ryan Reynolds, he's the
Freeman,
free guy, wasn't it? No, his name was Guy. No,
I think it's Freeman.
It might be. I don't know.
But
it's free guy, wasn't it?
You keep talking, and I'll show.
Yeah, I don't like how you made fun of my thumbs though.
It's weird thumb, dude. I'm just saying.
I don't like. Now I'm very self-conscious about my thumbs.
Free guy. You should be. You should wear gloves all the time now.
All right. Well, fuck you. I want to talk about the brain instead of my thumbs.
I ain't talking about my thumbs. Talking about my brain.
Yeah.
My brain is now good. Hyper focused on my thumb.
It's really bothering me.
That one doesn't seem as weird. Yeah.
They're the same thing.
Oh, no, they're not. Put that right one away. Comment below if you agree. His right thumb is weird.
It's the same. Why would they be different? All right, this is really bothering me. All right, we're just going to move on. This is good entertainment for everybody who's listening. All All right, so there have been studies that prove that 27 to 50% of people don't have an inner voice. Do you have one? And what do you think it is like not to have one?
I do have one, at least I think I do, because like when I'm thinking about stuff or thinking about what to say.
You hear your voice in your head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I'm reading a book, I'm hearing my voice like read the book to me.
Yeah. I don't understand how that, I don't know how, like you said earlier before we started the show, I don't understand how people read.
I don't know how you process. I mean, I think I process everything like basically talking to myself, like
Yeah,
working through problems.
exactly. And I want to know if any of our listeners do not have an inner monologue.
Yeah, and if
And
you
if you
don't,
do, explain to me how you do life.
yeah, like how you
Anything.
process information, anything. How do you think about stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I just
How do you think? Is it pictures? Like are you constantly
when you first brought this up, I thought it was so weird. Like, what are
what
you
if you're
talking about?
you gonna be really effed up if you're blind and you don't have an inner voice?
Yeah.
What do you even do?
Well, see, that's another thing. So your inner voice learns from your actual speech, though. That's why deaf people talk weird because they're learning everything from, I think, visual cues. So
Yeah,
that's
they're
like why
probably
their enunciation isn't that good because unless they've had lost their hearing
yeah,
throughout
people who
life, like
haven't who've
people that are
born
born
deaf.
without hearing or born deaf, yeah, they. I think that's why they talk weird because how could you have an internal monologue if you've never heard anything?
That's
That's a
true.
good question, Kevin.
Man, you are
Do
blowing my
deaf
mind,
people
buddy.
have an internal monologue? I mean, they might. And if they do, does it sound like how they talk?
Or does it sound like
I know inside my brain I have perfect pronunciation.
I do too?
And when it comes out my mouth, sometimes I sound like I'm drunk when I'm not.
Sometimes when I'm drunk, I can think of something perfectly well. Then when I say it, it's
Comes
totally
out
fucked
real
up.
dumb.
I'm out super dumb. I'm like, what are you doing, dummy? This is how you should say it. Then I try saying it again, and I sound dumber because
I can
I'm
just
like,
see
what is going on?
I
I
can see
can't
you
be
going
this
up to
drunk.
some girl in a bar like, all right, I got the perfect line. I'm gonna go up. All right, here we go, Kevin. Yeah, you're gonna do it. Yeah, all right, here we go. Hey, Kevin. What
Nailed
you?
it.
And then in your head, you're like, why is she walking away?
Yeah,
I nailed that.
I nailed that.
I just don't understand how that would work.
I
That's
don't, it blows my mind. I don't know.
that's a brain twister.
All right, well, I'm going to throw this one at you. That's the next question. Could the non inner voice people be NPCs in a simulation that we are living in?
I mean,
And if
maybe
you're a non inner voice person, uh, we mean you. You're not real.
basically what we're you know basically what we're alluding to is you're not a real person. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we were in a simulation, maybe like when you're interacting with someone that doesn't have an internal monologue, maybe you're just interacting with a computer. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's
The whole
this.
concept behind this is fucking weird.
Yeah, so I really hope somebody listening to this. I know we only have like maybe 100 people listen to us, and usually they don't make it this far. But hopefully you did. And let me know if you have an inner voice or not. I don't care if you do, it's when you don't. I need to know. I need to know what it's like. It bothers me. I'm just saying, it does. It bothers me so much.
Because it'd be interesting to know how their brain processes
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, I just like I
Or
have
like
like
when they're reading a book. Now you were saying that people that don't have an internal monologue read out loud, or are you just
no, I
saying
just
that?
assume that.
But like that would be weird. So if you don't have an internal monologue and you're reading, maybe the book plays out like a movie in their head.
Yeah, I don't want to know how you read because I don't understand how that works.
But I'm not 100% sure this was an actual thing. I think I heard it was. But there was an episode of Scrubs, which used to be one of my favorite shows back when they made funny shows. And there's an episode where some lady had, I think it was a lady, possibly a guy, 50-50, I'm right. Uh, had a
Well,
head trauma.
100% you're right because you said lady or maybe it was a guy. It's either going to be one of the two.
That's right. So I'm shooting 50-50. But they suffered a head trauma, and then they were perceiving reality as if she was in a musical. So
Well,
as
that'd
people
be
were talking
fun.
to her, they were singing to her. And apparently that's a real thing.
What? I don't. That'd be super annoying. I mean, I guess at first I would like it. But I'd be like, shut the f up. I can't hear you sing anymore. Like, do you think there's people like have really bad voices? Like, she hears how bad they sing. Like,
I
that'd
mean,
be annoying.
maybe that that would suck if you had that, and then not only did you hear like as people talk to you, you thought they were singing, they were all singing out of pitch.
Oh my god. I bet you that's a thing too. Who knows? How does that work though? What happened? Like, you think that was a thing before musicals?
I don't know. Like, I'm not 100% sure it's real, but I could have sworn I looked it up when that happened.
I
Or like
think
they
I
put in
think
the
I've
show because
heard of
it's a
it.
real infliction.
Yeah, I don't think they made anything up on House. I mean, I think everything was pretty much a real disorder or whatever.
Do I look
It's
like
just
somebody who watches House? I
what?
said Scrubs, the
Oh,
comedy
Scrubs.
version of House.
Yeah, that's what you meant. Well, I think I saw it on House though.
I think it's a real thing.
I also saw it on Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. They had an episode about that.
That's one of those things that's very interesting. Okay, but would be annoying as fuck if you were that person.
Yeah, like I said, it'd be cool for about an hour. You're like, shut up.
See, this just says head injury turns people into musical savants. That's not what I wrote. I don't know. Probably have to do some bilateral searches or learn how to ask the question the right way. But yeah, I mean stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Oh, that goes right into your next question, Kevin.
it does. Weird. What a transition.
It's
What
because
do you
we're
think
looking
of
at a
people who have
simulation.
had a head injury and became a savant in something like math or playing a musical instrument? Or I mean, there's ones that like can just count cards and like do all kinds of weird shit that
Yeah,
they
the
had
people that
no.
can look at a
They
pile of
had
something and they see the number of what's there, that's weird.
yeah
Like their brain instantaneously like, oh, 5,642.
yeah.
The only thing I can think of is either the head injury stimulated either the creative or I don't know, analytical part of the brain, uh, or you had some kind of brain damage to where a certain part got shut off, so it's overcompensating in the other one. Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
I've had a lot of head injuries, and I have not gotten super good at anything.
I know. I want to be one of those. Like, I'm just going to keep hitting my head. I'm either going to be super dumb by the end of it, or I'm going to be super smart in one thing.
It's not working out like I thought it would.
I just say it. Eventually, it's got to hit something's got to work up in here, right?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know
it's all
how.
mediocre inside my head. I can tell you that. There
Yeah,
ain't
it's like how
nothing.
bad does it have to be? I had concussions in football. I've had a 30-pound piece of concrete fall 3 stories and hit me in the hard
You
hat,
think that would have done it?
knocking me to the ground.
Yeah.
I've been in a horrendous car wreck, and I'm just a
Yeah.
dumbass. What
Yeah.
the
You
hell?
just finally it made you dumber.
It's like
Every
I
one of
wanted to
them.
make me special.
Like one guy, he like actually saw like geometry lines in everything. Like it
I
was
wonder how
weird.
trippy that was at first.
Yeah.
I
And
think
now he
I've
does.
seen that. I think
Now
you're
he.
getting a lot of this from Will Shatner.
Well, yeah. That's what triggered this episode. So I was like, man, the brain is effing weird.
It is weird. I don't. That's what's weird. Like it would be cool. Well, and I wonder if even like say the people that wake up and they're musically inclined, I wonder if that stimulates a part of the brain that has to do with math. Because you can pretty much use math for anything.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, that's what music is.
Yeah.
It's mathematical equations.
You know,
Really. I mean, it's to a certain beat. The piano's like your song is just
everything's
a
math. Like
mathematical
it's
formula.
the language of the universe.
Yeah, so maybe all these people, I mean, painting stuff like that. I don't know about that, but
Yeah,
I
people
mean,
have become like great painters and shit where, they can just draw. I mean, I guess kind of still because you're drawing shapes or whatever.
yeah, unless you're doing abstract. But they say there's patterns in literally everything.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're just throwing paint at but then you're not really good at it. You're just throwing paint at something.
Oh yeah, like oh my gosh, is that a
Jackson
whatever?
Pollock.
A Jackson Pollock, where it's just some guys like, I'm just gonna throw paint at the wall. All these dumbasses are gonna pay millions of dollars for my paint splatter.
I mean, I don't get why people would ever pay for anything like that, but I don't
No,
know how he
especially when
got
you could
famous.
easily replicate something close to that.
You throw some red paint on there, you throw some white paint on there, you throw some black paint on there, and boom, you got yourself a Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's
So,
uppity stuff.
all right. Well, do you think there's hidden talents in all, or at least most people that could be unlocked, or do you think? I mean, do you think do you think at some point science can unlock something in the brain to where you're a super genius?
I think they do that now. They can do that now
Well, I don't think they can.
with Elon Musk brain stuff.
No, like that's more. Maybe it could, but his brain implant.
Yeah.
I think he got like something went wrong with that one. Like at first, the guy could just like control a mouse over like a cursor over.
Telekinesis.
Well, kind of. His just thought where he wanted the mouse to go, and it went. It was
Yeah,
controlling
he
the
basically
computer.
it's like he put a Bluetooth receiver in his head.
Yeah.
What
So
happened? The guy died or something?
no, it wasn't like that. I think it just failed after a while.
Wow.
Like, it just stopped
Well,
working.
the thing is, like, I don't understand how any of this stuff would work because any foreign object you put in someone's brain is going to be attacked.
You would think. I don't know. I don't think do white blood cells attack shit in the brain? I don't think the brain has a defense system. I
Does
think
it
it's for the
not?
rest of the body. No.
Maybe that's why.
Brain cancer. Once you get brain cancer and they don't catch it soon enough to cut it out, you're dead.
Yeah. Well, what's
Yeah, but
that?
brain cancer. Like I don't.
Meningitis.
Yeah,
So, yeah, maybe.
I don't.
But most things
I
in the
could be
body
wrong,
that
and I
can't
could
be.
be completely wrong about your brain not having a defense system. But I'm almost positive white blood cells do not go into your brain.
No, they might not because they can be very destructive. Especially if they can't. You got to think if you had a foreign body in your brain, like say some wires, and the white blood cells collected around to try to get rid of it, and they couldn't, they would.
Turn cancerous.
Well, they don't necessarily turn
Don't they
cancerous.
die?
They would do the same thing like they do with foreign bodies in the lung, where they send the
Asbestosis.
macrophages and then rupture, and then that bile from it just creates scar tissue. So you just have buildups of scar tissue uh, in your brain. And if it didn't stop, you would think it would actually like encase the wires. Like it wouldn't spread. Like the reason why asbestosis and stuff like that spreads is because you have multiple fibers in your lungs that are being attacked by macrophages. They die, burst their bile shit all over it, create scar tissues, and it's an ongoing thing. With the wires, is just going to do that to the wires if they
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. I don't know if they. I don't know, man. I don't know if the. I really have no idea. But I mean, I guess. I mean, there could be a way to make us. Was it cyborgs? No, cyborgs, right? Or half humans?
Cyborgs are a mix, yeah.
Yeah, we could all be cyborgs. Well, probably not in our lifetime. Maybe
There has been
Elon
no
Musk.
significant. The researchers explain that there has been no significant evidence showing the presence of these white blood cells in healthy brains. Therefore, the presence of these cells in a healthy brain has remained controversial. That really did not answer the question.
So we don't know. Another
It
thing we
kind of
don't
sounds
know
like
about
there
the
are.
brain. Not in
Found
a
in a
healthy
healthy
way.
brain. Yeah, it says
Maybe.
right. Can white blood cells be found in a healthy brains? Yet. What?
Man, you read dumb.
No, the person
Maybe you should
writes
read it in
dumb.
your mind first.
It says yet, Kevin. Yet. Not yes. It says yes. I think it's supposed to say that, which makes me very cautious and doubtful about this comment. White blood cells, which are part of our immune system, have been found to play a role in different brain diseases, including multiple sclerosis.
Sclerosis. No, I can't say it.
Scoliosis. Sclerosis.
Stop. Stop trying to pronounce the word.
I never win.
No.
If I can't say it the first time, I'm never going to get it.
Yeah, just
even
stop.
if you're repeating it to me right, because I'll eventually affect. I'll
I don't
eventually
think I said it
affect
right,
you.
so I stopped immediately. So MS, MS. Just say MS.
Well, what about meningitis too? That's pretty much if you get a brain thing,
Disease. Yeah, you're dead.
yeah, it's not good.
Like meningitis has killed thousands of people.
Yeah,
Like it is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think possibly. I mean, I think if they could manipulate, like I don't know, maybe stimulate certain areas of your brain, maybe you. Could
I think
become-
everybody has talents. I don't know if like there are some people that want to be really good at something and they'll never be good at it, no matter how hard they try.
Well, some
But
people
that means
just-
they haven't
I mean,
found how their brain works.
Like I cannot draw. Not at all.
I used to
Nothing.
think I could, and then as I got older, I realized I couldn't.
I think I could play a musical instrument if I actually put my mind to it, because that's more like I don't know if I can make up a song, but maybe I could. But I think I could definitely learn to, play a song, because that's just something you're copying and practice. But like drawing, I just have no talent. I have no talent. I could try to draw something 1,000 times and it would look like shit 1,001 times, because it's a little extra shitty just in case.
Yeah, I would think now when it comes to musical instruments, I would say anything that would be in percussion, or almost anything other than the bass drum. That would require some type of talent, not only in your ability to play instruments, but you're gonna have to be able to do multiple things simultaneously with, like, your arms, legs, like playing the drums or even playing the piano. Like, I would love to learn how to play piano, but I just can't see me being able to consciously be able to play stuff with both hands.
See,
and then do the thing with the feet.
I would love to play piano. That's one thing I've always wanted to know.
I just want to know how to play the piano so I can walk into a store like Von Maur
Exactly.
And start breaking out some Jerry Lee Lewis or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like some place that just has a piano, just some bar or something, or some lounge. And you're just like, you just walk over and just start playing the piano.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I learned how to play the trumpet. Not a whole lot of random trumpets laying around department stores.
Is there not?
No, and if you don't have your own mouthpiece, I would not play it. I got the sore. I got the sore again.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, there are certain things. I don't know how you could. Now there are some people who brain injuries, but that's like. Do you think there's middle brain people?
You mean just mediocre people? I think that's most people, isn't it?
Yeah, like you have your right brain and left brain. Where you have people that I think is right brain the more creative.
I don't fucking know, man.
But like, there's literally like all your creativity comes from one side of your brain,
like a mohawk type of thing.
Yeah,
where you use a little of each.
It's like I'm a mohawk.
Yeah, that's probably.
Those are probably the people, like most of us, that aren't really great at anything.
Nah, you're just kind of like right there in the middle.
You're just there.
Just there, just existing. This waste.
I'm not great. I'm not good, but I'm all right.
I'm all right. And that's a shirt right there.
I'm not great. I'm not good.
I'm all right. I'm not great. I'm not bad, but I'm all right.
I have like a fucking mohawk brain.
Mohawk brain. There you go.
Coined the term. That's never going to take off.
It will not. The old mohawk brain. I mean, if it's derogatory, maybe it would, but I mean,
how about instead of center lane, center brain?
Center brain. Ooh.
Ah?
There you go. Do you think it's possible to have powers like telepathy, telekinesis?
Yeah.
I threw pyrokinesis in there, even though Stephen King made it up.
Yeah, don't know about that one.
You don't think you make stuff hot just by thinking about it?
Hot. I don't know. If you,
I make the women. I know. I cool them off. I'm a cooler.
Hey, looks like these ladies are having too much fun. Got to put a stop to that. Sunday Kevin. I thought they proved that the upper frontal part of the brain, which they really have no idea what the hell it's for, it doesn't do anything. they think is that part of telekinesis, because that's what we've talked about in other episodes about alien shit and how they communicate across galaxies telepathically instantaneously using, I think it's like they send their thoughts down a 0 point energy field and they instantly come out wherever they're talking, which is why they don't like nukes, Kevin. But they do. There are some people that think that frontal part of the brain is what that was for, and like we used to be able to do that, and then we pretty much don't know how anymore. Telekinesis, technically, if you could do telekinesis and get good enough at it, like move stuff with your brain, you might be able to become pyrokinesis.
Yeah, I would think that. Yeah, one could lead to the other. Like if you can make
And like
something
if you
spin
got
fast
if
enough,
you got
it'll get
so
hot by
good,
friction.
yeah, if you got so good to where you could vibrate molecules,
Yeah,
because once you get them excited enough, they're going to create enough heat to catch a fire.
exactly. And I think that's all it was in the book,
Yeah.
Firestarter. But I mean,
Drew Barrymore, crazy.
telekinesis. I don't know that one. What was the movie, The Minister of Goats? What was that about? That was
Men
about
that stare at goats. That's telepathy.
It was
Well,
telepathy.
it's Well, yeah, because telekinesis.
It was
is
like
moving,
third eye shit, wasn't it? Like
yeah,
you
it's
see
moving
across.
shit with your brain is
That's
telekinesis.
telekinesis. Yeah.
I think telepathy is more like reading thoughts or
communicate,
emotions, or like Men Who Stare at Goats, which is a real program that there was a guy who was actually pretty accurate. Is they're able to concentrate on something and then they mentally put themselves there. So that's, I guess it's considered telepathy, but that's like them actually leaving their body. Like their spirit or their consciousness is like on the moon or wherever they're projected. They're projecting their consciousness to wherever they're thinking about.
Yeah.
And apparently that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Projection. Astral projection, isn't it? Is that what it is?
yeah. And you'd have to make yourself a curly Q. I forget what it's called. Some spiral or some shit like that. And you make it out of metal. You sit in the middle and it focuses everything. And then you can like project yourself somewhere.
Does it have to be a certain type of metal?
I don't know.
Well,
maybe.
this is useless.
Could be tinfoil. I don't know. I've seen people do it where like I figure like the guy designed this room. This was government shit. And he designed this thing. It's a big spiral, and then you have a chair in the center of it. And supposedly it channels everything toward you. Where people on YouTube are like, "Oh yeah, you can make this." And a guy like took like not like 4-inch metal strip and did it on the floor. It's like, and they said they could feel something, but the way I made me think that it worked, if it does work, is you're in the middle of the, like it's taller than you. You're like in a spiral, damn near room without.
Yeah, some kind of magnetic type of thing, you know.
But this guy just made a spiral on the floor. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sitting in the middle. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel the tingle. Oh, where are you at right now? In your garage, sitting in a chair, but I got a tingle."
I got a tingle. I mean, what was it? What was that thing you sent me where you could listen to it?
How long ago is this? Is this about listening to these episodes and it takes you into the astro projection thing? I don't remember what that was. I got it in our save things, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah,
we should have done it.
I know we were supposed to do that,
but I thought you said it wasn't complete. Like I don't know. That's why I didn't trust it.
No, it's steps.
Yeah, I'm just like,
it's
what if I don't do the other
Kevin.
step? Then all of a sudden I'm just stuck out somewhere else.
No, you always come back. You just go farther depending on how much money you pay to become higher up on the pyramid. And if you pay extra money, we give you these new tones, and then you can become into like farther into the nicer, richier part.
If you share these with your friends and they do it, we'll give you one of these tones for free, and that's called a pyramid scheme.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was some kind of sort of.
It sounds you basically described a pyramid scheme.
I'm not exactly sure how that works. I just know that you can get them for free. They're huge file downloads, though.
Yeah, you sent me one. I was going to listen to it. I don't remember.
It has something to do with certain frequencies and hertz or something, and it basically tunes your brain into being able to tap into.
You're supposed to listen to it with headphones, right?
Yes, because you need stereo. You need the stereo between the two headphones. It's kind of like it does something with your brain, kind of I think similar to when you match the resonant frequency of something. So like it hits a certain resonant frequency in your brain that allows you to, whatever. Kind of like when we were in that cold crusher, and I was I don't know, were you on that job where I kept humming and matching the pitch, and it just kept vibrating and kept getting worse and worse, and I was pissed everybody out because I was like, wow, wow, wow. They're
Oh
like,
boy.
no, get the fuck off. Oh, no. Wow, wow, wow. And it was like causing the whole damn thing to vibrate. It was cool. You got to think this cold crusher probably weighed 20,000 pounds. We were pulling have you ever been in one of those? They have those
Yeah. Yeah.
big, like, it's a bunch of different, like, scales, it almost looks like, but they're like a foot thick. We were like pulling them off because I guess they had gaskets behind them or something. But yeah, I wasn't doing a whole lot of work. I was just being that annoying. Yeah, wow, wow, wow. Resonant frequency or whatever. That stuff's cool. That's how people break glasses and stuff like that. That's how they said they probably took down the walls of Jericho. They matched the resonant frequency of the walls using the Ark of the Covenant and caused the walls to vibrate to the ground. I'm not sure who said that. I'm pretty sure it was on Ancient Aliens, and probably not
science.
Correct whatsoever.
No, probably not. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you. You know the red lamp story because I've shared it with you.
I do know it's an awesome story, and you should tell everybody about it.
Okay. So one time, I think it was at LSU or something. So this guy basically he meets this woman in college. He marries her, and he's having this great life. They have kids, and he has this perfect life. He has a great job. He loves his job. He loves his kids. He loves his wife. He's just kind of a normal dude. They have a nice house, white picket fence, all that shit. Everything everybody wants in life, he has. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, like, good family, and good job. Not too rich, not poor, but just a medium income guy that likes his life. Watches football on Sundays. Has his date nights, family nights, all that stuff. So his kids, about 4 or 5 years old, and I guess one day he goes down to watch football, and also he looks over and he looks at this lamp, and it gets all blurry, and he can't stop looking at it for a while. And he's like, "Oh, it must just be my eyes." So he gets a little closer to it, still blurry, and then he goes back, he sits down, he continues watching the football game. Then he just kind of like forgets about it for a while. His wife came down, whatever, and they do their thing. He comes home later that night. He goes in the living room. He's like doing something. He stares at the lamp again. All of a sudden, it's blurry. It's blurry. He just keeps looking at it. And all of a sudden, his wife calls down. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, nothing. I just had to grab something." She's like, "You've been down there for an hour." So then he goes back up. He goes to bed. Then when she falls asleep, he goes back downstairs. And all of a sudden, the lamp's like all blurry, but this time it's upside down. And he can't figure out why. So he gets closer to it. He's still upside down. It's freaking him out. So he goes back down. He just sits down all night in his chair, just staring at this lamp. And he can't figure out what's going on with it. His wife wakes up in the morning, comes downstairs and sees her husband just down there. And she's like, "Hey, you want to go to work?" He's like, "No, I don't feel good. That's why I came downstairs." She's like, "Huh, you look fine. What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing. I just don't feel good. I'm not going to work." So I guess this kept happening. He would just stare at this lamp all the time. So eventually his wife, and kids, I guess they leave him or something, go to her parents. And all of a sudden one day, everything this lamp just gets bigger and bigger in the room, and he can't figure out what's going on. He's just staring at this lamp all the time. So eventually he touches the lamp and he wakes up on the ground. I guess the next thing that happens is a flash. His eyes open. He's on the ground. He's in college, and I guess a football player hit him, and he hit his head and was passed out for 10 seconds. And all this shit from meeting his wife in college to the point where he touched that lamp was all within a span of 10 seconds. So I guess this guy is still deeply depressed and has I don't know what you call it, mourner's loss or something. He's super depressed because he feels like he lost his wife and kids. And
to him, his brain created a real wife and kids.
Years. And he remembers everything. He remembers his whole life within that 10 seconds, which is weird because you made years of memories within 10 seconds.
That's what. Well, when you talk, like when you looked up the hundreds of thousands of millions of terabytes of RAM that the brain has, I'm assuming that now, granted, you have to have your processor or CPU in your brain. It also has to be extremely fast. But in order to play that out in the matter of 10 seconds, I mean, just think about it. I mean, with the amount of RAM that they say our brain's capable of and the processing speed, I could see how that would happen. I mean, have you ever had something happen where this has happened to me twice that I can immediately remember of? One is when our buddy wore tear off pants to school, which is never a good idea. And me and one of our other friends tried to rip his pants off. I only got 2 buttons undone. The other dude, who happens to be a defensive lineman, got his whole leg off, so he turns and punches me in the face.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the best option.
But the funny part is, I saw that punch coming from a mile away. I don't know if I didn't think he was going to hit me, but it was like in slow motion. And I'm like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, huh, he's going to punch me in the face. Here it comes. And it seemed like it took a while, and then it happened. And it's like that moment was in slow motion. And then another time, I was working in Ohio, and this guy picks up a piece of ice, like a small piece of ice, and chucks it at me. And I literally tracked that piece of ice from his hand all the way over as it went into my eye. And that seemed like it was in slow motion. And it's like both times I'm like, why the hell didn't I put my hand up?
Why wouldn't I move?
But have you ever had an instance where, and it happens a lot when you're in fight or flight mode, because your brain goes into overdrive, so time actually seems to slow down because your brain's processing information so fast? Like, have you ever had that experience?
I had it once, and I actually, like, it was.
Put your hand up?
I was playing baseball, right? And it was a long time. I mean, it was probably, I don't know, probably 6th, 7th grade, somewhere around there. I was playing baseball, and I was playing catcher, and the guy throwing the ball, like, he threw a fastball, and I could, like, see the runner going, and it was like slow motion, like he was stealing. So I caught the ball with my non-glove hand, with just my bare hand, like not even thinking about it. Like I just put my hand up, and I was already getting up because it was weird because it was like slow motion, and I was just like already in throw motion by the time the ball got there. And I threw him out, but I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever done. Like just caught it barehanded. I didn't feel it. I was already almost in throwing motion by the time I caught the ball. It was super weird.
It was, it's super cool that between the two of us, you were the one who took advantage of the slow motion moment and turned it into something. It didn't get punched in the face or poked in the eye with a piece of
It is super
ice.
Weird that you did not move or put your hand
both
up.
times. I'm just like, oh, here's that coming.
Neat?
Oh, yep, it's in my eye now. Oh,
look at that! It's coming towards my eye. Yep, I should really look at this for a little bit longer. I'll move eventually. Oh, it's in my eye.
And then it kind of makes you wonder, though. So, is time's based on how your brain processes information? If you think about it, it's kind of like if you like, kind of like frame rates. You know what I mean? Like if you shoot a bunch of extra frame rates and then you play it back normal, it goes slow motion. Like if you go super high and you say you shoot something at 3,000 frames per minute and you play it back at 24 frames per minute or whatever, that's how you get ultra slow mo. I think, or the other way around, one of the two. I know it's a shit ton of frame shot versus how you play back.
Yeah, I think it's shot.
That's what makes
you
slow
play
motion.
it back at regular frame rate, but you shoot it at super fast frame or a lot of frames per second.
Yeah, that's what happened
Something
to
like
me. The one time I tried this, and it was a CBD pen. It wasn't a THC pot pen. It was a CBD pen, which I don't know how the hell these are legal because pot's not legal here. But I took a puff on that bastard, and I may have told this story on the show before, but it made my face feel like it was changing shape, and I thought I had the Joker mouth, and I kept going to see if my face was like that. But like, so other than my face, like feeling like it was like a, a fucking Picasso, uh, a living, moving Picasso. It also seemed like time was super slow. Like it felt like I think what was I was waiting for was like took 5 minutes, and I swear it felt like it took an hour. I'm like, what the shit? And it was like not only did that non THC CBD pen make my face feel like it was liquid, but it also sped my brain up.
I I remember when I did smoke pot in high school, and I or not high school, it was like right after high school. I was living with you in Cedar Rapids, and like I smoked pot with Adam, and I had to go back to Cedar Rapids like that night because I had to work like Monday or whatever, it's Sunday, and I drove like, and I thought I was going like 70 miles an hour, and I looked down, and I'm going 20 miles an hour. And I'm like, oh, why is it taking so long to get home? And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah. Drugs are
Yeah.
bad. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
That was back before people could OD on pot.
Yeah, pot wasn't that strong back then. I mean, it was, I guess, but I mean, it was stronger than the
Not,
70s
never heard of
drugs.
people ODing on it or having
No,
uh, pot psychosis
no.
or whatever they call it.
We were still picking seeds and stems out of the pot.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is all this ditch weed, man.
Yeah. Ah,
That's another weird thing about the brain. That's what they I don't know. That's why you think it's very interesting. It's very cool. That's why they say I always kind of wondered if we don't use 100% of our brain. Now they have changed. They used to say that you don't regrow brain cells, but I guess you do. I heard that you do. Now, the only reason why I would think we only use like 10 to 15%, like actually, like they say the difference between like the average person uses 10% of their processing power of their brain. A genius uses like 12.
yeah, I think everybody uses all their brains. There's different components of the brain. So, yes, you use all your brain, but you don't use the full potential of those areas or your brain.
Well, the weird thing is what that 2% does to a person though, because ultra intelligent people that use 12, I don't know if anyone's ever gotten up to 15, but I do know like the 2% difference is huge.
Oh,
They
yeah.
become very antisocial. Like they don't socialize well
Well, as long, I mean, as much
because they can't relate
as
to us
powerful as your brain is, I
normies.
mean, yeah, those fucking degens.
But think though, if you okay, so let's say that even though I think they have proven that you actually do regrow brain cells, thank goodness, because I lost a lot of. But if you use 100% of your brain, every time you bumped your head, you would get dumber.
Yeah.
I mean, because they say when
Well,
you
I
bump your
mean,
head, you kill brain cells.
alcohol kills brain cells. I heard.
Yeah. Apparently, nicotine stimulates brain cells. You know that?
Yeah, nicotine's
So,
actually good for you in
yeah.
small doses.
Yeah. Well, that's what I don't know about all the other crap they put in vapes and stuff, but yeah, nicotine's not what gives you cancer. It's all the bullshit in tobacco.
Yeah, nicotine's actually good for you. It's really bad for. It can also kill you, and I mean, you can OD on nicotine.
That's because it was originally discovered as a pesticide, I think. It
Uh,
is used as a pesticide,
yeah.
but yeah, you can OD on uh, nicotine.
All right. Well, real quick, do you think science will ever unlock the full potential of the mind?
Is that what it says?
Yeah, not that's not what it says, but that's what it auto corrected to something else.
I don't know. I think where aren't they doing like brain mapping right now? Trying
I'm
to
sure
map
they are.
the
You would think
brain,
so,
looking for the
right?
soul. I don't know if you ever could, and what would full potential be. Like, I don't think we'll ever get to 100% processing power. I think if you got to that level of,
Omnipotence.
well, if you got to that level, like you'd be conscious of your own consciousness. Like in your earlier question, like what is consciousness? Like you'd be aware of other stuff. It's like I don't think humans can really wrap their brain around infinity.
No, like
No beginning,
you
no
could.
end.
Yeah, you could drive yourself mad trying to because the technically the universe is infinite, and people just can't. wrap their mind around something that doesn't have a beginning or an end, or it's just ongoing forever.
Yeah, something was always there, always will be there. Or even though they do say that at some point our universe may die, but you can't wrap, like, I think if you could truly understand and comprehend the idea of infinity, that would be like, what are they searching for inner peace, or whatever. Like, you would be at one with the universe at that point. That's why I always wondered if there's such thing as atomic memory. Like, everything that happened. So, like, if you would be able to access, like, okay, so let's say if you saw something fishy happen in 2020 and you wanted to go back and, like, everything happened. So, like, I always wondered if there's some type of record of that, some type of atomic memory. I mean, it sounds weird, and but like, it actually happened. So if you could access, say, atomic memory to where at this point in time these atoms are doing this, because everything's made up of atoms. So I was like, this happened. So you'd be able to go back and be like, oh, this person actually got these many votes, and this is what happened here. But, like, just as an example, or like, I always wondered if that was a thing. It sounds super stupid, super sci-fi, but it was like, I always wondered if that's a thing, like, because everything that happened, obviously, but it actually happened. So, like, because everything we do and everything you remember is a memory of the memory of the memory of the memory.
Yeah,
The first time you see something is the clearest it's ever going to be. Every time after that, and every time you
it gets
recall
distorted just a little bit every time.
Because every time you're looking back at a memory of a memory of a memory of a memory. But, like, something that happened. So is there such thing as atomic memory, as in if you could access that, or say like time viewing, to where you're actually rearranging the atoms in that whatever to show you what the atoms are happening right here, and it constructs a, whatever.
Yeah.
We need a smart guy to answer that question.
We should have guests. Is there a smart guy that wants to be on our show?
And we could have invited that one dude, but he got super woke. What the hell's his name? He's one of the space guys, but he's gotten super woke. I can't remember his name. Probably because I don't know him personally. He was like on Ancient Aliens a lot, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but
no, I know. Not
but he's a theoretical theorist, physicist. He's like, he's a smart dude, but he's gotten super woke. So that would be an interesting conversation for a guy like that. But I don't know if we could ever fully unlock the potential, getting the most that you could theoretically get out of it. Maybe someday with drugs.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably.
I would, and I don't want to do this to get high, because apparently it is not enjoyable.
But it's
whatsoever.
weird because it'd be like the brain unlocking itself.
Yeah. So that's super weird. I think you can half-ass do that through meditation and possibly,
I'm sure, but still
using certain
weird
tones and frequencies to stimulate the brain.
Still, it's still weird that the brain's like, nah, we're good. We're just going to work at this much. And it's like my brain's effing lazy.
The brain is lazy, Kevin. That's why as you get older, like us, you get sore and hurt easier, because your brain is literally going to do the easiest, most efficient way of doing anything. That's why a lot of times, like, if you're lifting weights, your weights will go up, but you won't get any bigger. It's because your brain is figuring out the most efficient way to fire your muscle fibers in order to complete the task. Even though a mass majority of us are lazy, overweight pieces of shit, your brain is still trying to find the most efficient way of being a lazy, dumb piece of shit.
That is effing awesome.
That is a true statement.
I did not know that. That is fantastic. Thank you, brain. Thank you.
But yeah, I would. It's not enjoyable from what I hear, but I would love to try that ayahuasca stuff, just to see what it's like to unlock your brain.
Well, maybe if we get rich,
and like, I didn't want to see that.
Maybe if we get rich somehow, we'll take a trip.
Well, one guy did it, and he accessed his dad's memories. That's what's weird about it.
That's super.
It, like, they say it opens you up to universal consciousness, to where, and that's where that telepathy and stuff like that comes into play, where it says that we're all connected. So, like, this dude took it, and he thought it was weird because they were clear as day memories, but they weren't his; they were his dad's. So yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to experience something like that. Even though you got to go down to, I mean, there's probably nicer places that we can't afford to go to, but I would definitely want to go to one of the nicer places where you're monitored by medical personnel.
I don't think you just want to take it out zone and be like, I got this. So
because I'm pretty sure they bring you back by smoking stuff from those poisonous frogs. So
possibly
they call it the handshake. Right, if you don't do it, then it fucks your. It's I don't know. It's like you start off with ayahuasca, and then you end with like licking frogs or something. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know anything about it really.
It's like that's not a handshake. Why don't you just call it what it is? Licking frog butts.
Like if we ever make enough money from this, we will go down to Peru or wherever the hell they do. I think it is Peru. We'll go down there and do some ayahuasca, then podcast the next day about it.
Or while we're doing it.
No, I don't think they're going to let us podcast while we're down there.
Just a screaming.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
I don't like this. All right.
Well, I could be wrong. This has been an extremely well entertained episode. And I don't care if you want to keep going with everything else, but it's up to you. I think we have reached the hour mark. So there is one thing you cannot skip. For sure.
Nope. So I'm just going to go.
You can do Trump Truth.
Yep. I'll do Trump. We'll just we'll just skip the winners and losers and what's happening. So, all right. Trump Truth.
Trump Truth, baby. I
gotta get down.
What I say is what I say.
I gotta get down to it. I had to keep moving my scroller. All right. So this week I went with Trump Truth. Crooked Joe Biden is the weakest, most incompetent, and most dishonest president in the history of the United States. But most importantly, he is the worst president our country has ever seen or known. Hopefully, there will never be another like him. He is a threat to democracy. And I don't think this one's very funny. I think it's all true.
So it is 100% true. Trump Truth!
Trump Truth!
What I say is what I say.
All right. And now, for the ending, like every week, it is the White Slur of the Week.
White Slur of the Week, baby.
What's a honky?
And this week, I picked Winkle, as in Robert Van Winkle, a.k.a. Vanilla Ice. Winkle is used as a derogatory word against white people.
Well, you know. That's funny because his name is super white sounding, and then his rap name is even whiter sounding.
Like, yeah, it's just like Robert Van Winkle is the whitest name possible.
Bob Winkle.
Bob Van Winkle.
Hi, I'm Bob Van Winkle. Sometimes I like to rap and dance with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It sounds like he's trying to sell you like a rug or some carpeting.
Yeah, now he's like, I think he when he got out of singing, I think he became a pretty good motocross guy. Like he was pretty big.
I knew he tried rock and roll for a while. I think he actually did a rock and roll version of Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, it was his one and only hit. That and what was it? Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go.
Oh, yeah. For the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, yes, I love that song.
So remember, don't be a Winkle.
Don't be a Winkle.
And that has been the White Slur of the Week.
What's a honky?
Woo! All right, well, that's it. This has been a pretty long episode, I think. Well, close to an hour, I think. Well, maybe over.
Yeah, I don't know how long we were messing around. I mean, either way, it's a good episode.
Yeah, so. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
And this was The Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common sense, baby.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense. Buy our shit.
I'll see you next week, everybody.